I'm Paul White, and I work on the Darwin Correspondence project. I'm a research associate there. I've worked on the project for over 20 years. And I also have done teaching in the Department of History and Philosophy of Science here at Cambridge. My interests are in the history of Victorian science, particularly science and culture, science and literature, science and art, science and religion. And a lot of my own research has gravitated towards Darwin, as you would expect. The letters are a really fascinating body of material, and never fail to sort of surprise me and my colleagues. And so they're a wonderful resource, and I try to combine them with other kinds of materials. I think the one that strikes me most is the nocturne that's in the middle of the wall in the first room. And those nocturnes were the ones I kept coming back to when I was thinking about my talk. And I think what I've ended up doing is not to sort of try to interpret Darwin's influence on Whistler, which is often what happens. It's always Darwin's influence on, or occasionally his, the things that he draws on. But what I ended up doing is really kind of reinterpreting Darwin in light of the things that I was seeing by Whistler and some of the episodes in his life. It did strike me that the garden was a kind of, there was a common ground there, and the importance of it in one's work is what comes through, I think, so much for Darwin, that it's a place of constant study and engagement, and it's also a place of experimentation and innovation and manipulation. So he's always he's breeding things and always measuring things, and there's a kind of, what I find that's kind of an affinity between them is this appreciation for a kind of quietude, a kind of contemplative and reflective appreciation and engagement, which takes time and patience, and which I think one of the things I remember Whistler saying about the nocturne where he's on the Thames, it shows the Thames kind of very, very dark, that everyone else has gone home. So this sense of seeing things that no one else sees, or no one else is interested in, and no one takes the time to notice, and then how that vision is then reflected on and reproduced or depicted in their very different forms. But there's a gentleness, I think, and a kind of delicacy that comes through in Darwin's work that isn't usually noticed, I don't think. People often think of his theory as being a theory about struggle and strife and battle, and so nature becomes a very, a kind of violent thing, and human society as well, constant competition and struggle, and that is only a part, really, of his theory. And so I'll be talking about a different strand, which is how organisms work together. And this is something that he takes quite a long time to theorize.